up, people? My name is Louie. I'm playing keys for Torn Wells on the Hills and Valleys tour. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of my rig. I'll follow up this video with a series of other videos that go more into detail on the programming side, the setup side, just for all the nerds out there. Quick shout out to my boy Mark Evans, owner of Hustle, Pray, Eat. Dope merch, dope hoodies, dope t-shirts. Make sure you check them out on Instagram. Let's get started. First, we're going to start off with the gear list. I'm using the Nord Stage 2EX as my main brain for everything. It is using the onboard sounds as well as controlling sounds on the laptop. It's also controlling program changes for everything except for the Nord organ. And I'll get into that a little bit later. Up here, I have the Korg Triton Extreme. I've had this board since 2007. Very, very cool board for aux sounds, bells, leads, whistles, all that good stuff. Up here I have an Akai MPK Mini, and that is sending some information to the laptop for our worship set, basically controlling some drones and all that good stuff. Over here on the auxiliary stack, I have a Nord C2D that, of course, is just, doing the V3 thing. Nord absolutely killed it with the emulation on this. It sounds phenomenal, and it makes it a lot easier to not have to bring an actual V3 because that is a pain. Here I have the Moog Subsequent 37, using it for leads, key-based stuff, as well as some vocoder stuff. And then down here on the pedals, we're gonna get into that. I have some Strymon stuff. I have the Timeline, the Big Sky, and then I have probably one of my favorite chorus pedals of all time, an old school Roland Dimension C. It's 84, 85, I believe. Blue Japanese label, so it's pretty awesome. It sounds killer. Purple Rain, all that good stuff. And then over there I have the Digitech Talker, which is what I use for the vocoder. I have an expression pedal that crossfades and obviously expression volume changes as well too. Just regular sustain pedal over here. And then here I have two sets of expression pedals controlling the Nord C2D and the Moog. The one for the Nord is obviously just for the V3, and then the one on the Moog is controlling filter sweeps, among other things. We move over here to the laptop rig, 2015 MacBook Pro, pretty much maxed out with the exception of the hard drive. I do have an external hard drive that's running all my sounds, and then I'm using Ableton to host everything. Have a Korg Nano Control 2 as a controller that is just basically working as a fader interface for me to be able to bounce out levels. For my audio interface, I'm using the very trustworthy Motu Ultralight MK3. I've used this interface for a very long time, and it's just reliable for me. So I really love the way that it works. And then my ears, shout out to Alclair, phenomenal company, phenomenal customer service. Shout out to my boy Lauren and my boy Johnny. They always take care of me, no matter what I need from them, so it's pretty awesome. I'll get more now into the details of how everything's wired together. Alright, so we're gonna start with the Nord Stage 2EX. Unlike a lot of other people that I know, most people that use the Nord use it as a very expensive MIDI controller. To me, I use it for its full capabilities. It has an amazing synth section. The pianos sound phenomenal, the Rhodes, all that stuff. Most of the sounds that you hear out in the audience are actually coming from the Nord itself. This is my main, control station, like I said earlier. So I'll use both panels. I can get into more details later. I'll probably make another video as far as how I approach programming that stuff. If you have any questions, hit me up. Any patch changes, I basically just touch the Nord for any program changes. I don't have to touch anything else. It all goes through the laptop and then changes everything on all the other boards, and as well as the pedals. So if I switch here, the first song is Never Let Me Go. If I go over to All My Love, nothing changed on the Triton because there's not a patch that's being used for that specific song. But the pedals, the Timeline switch to All My Love, and then the Moog as well switch to All My Love. And the way that I'm doing that is they're all through USB with the exception of the pedals. The pedals don't have a USB interface for MIDI, so I had to find a little workaround, and what I did was I'm sending MIDI out of the laptop via USB to the Moog, because the Moog is what's being ran through the pedals. And then out of the Moog, I have a 5-pin MIDI cable going to the Strymon pedals, and that's how I'm able to change program changes. I just have each one of those on a different MIDI channel. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let's go back over here to the stack. Like I said, main sounds coming off from here, some sounds layered from the laptop. Up here, I'm using this for auxiliary stuff, as well as some synth stuff, some bells, I got some leads, I got some cool Prince type synths going on, as well as some strings for some of the more cinematic worship stuff. Sounds really, really cool. This is standalone, it's not being layered with anything, it's just this by itself. It is connected via USB for MIDI program changes to the laptop, but that's all it is doing. It's not sending any kind of, notes or anything like that for layered sound from it. Then we'll move over to the Kai MPK Mini. That is strictly just a drone controller for the worship stuff as well too. What I do is the bottom left pad, I'll go in and assign it to be a sustain controller, which is MIDI CC64, and I have it set to latch. So if I push it, it stays on, which is simulating the sustain pedal actually being pressed down. I'll hit a fifth or an octave depending on the sound or the song or the key that it's in. And then once I'm done with that, if I want to let the sustain go up, just hit the pad again, the drone fades out and it's good to go. I'll go a little bit more into detail on that as well once we get to the laptop section. Moving over to the Nord C2D. Like I said earlier, this is strictly just a B3, and that's all that it needs to be. It sounds phenomenal. The tone wheel organ model on this guy, I can't rave enough about it. It just sounds so good. I'm using the Yamaha FC7 as the expression pedal or the swell pedal for the volume of the Nord C2D. And then going upstairs to the Moog. The Moog is being used mainly for lead stuff, some synth-based stuff, and then my vocoder as well. And then I have a Moog expression pedal connected to that to kind of sweep through some of the filters on some of the songs. Coming out of the Moog, all the other boards are going directly into the interface. The Moog is going directly to my pedals. The chain of that is directly out of the Moog into the Digitech Talker, which is my vocoder. Directly out of that into the Boss Dimension C, then going into the Strymon Timeline, and then into the Strymon Big Sky. Out of there goes stereo out to a little submixer that I have, where I'm submixing both the Subsequent 37 and the Chord Triton Extreme. I'm never really playing them at the same time, so trying to save channel space because we're kind of limited on channels. That is the secondary stack. Alright, now we're going to hop over to the laptop portion of the rig. I am running Ableton 10 as my main DAW for everything. I'm sending program changes from the Nord to Ableton, and Ableton distributes it out to all the other boards. What are receiving program changes are the Triton Extreme, the Moog Subsequent 37, and then the two Strymon pedals. The Nord C2D is not receiving any program changes because it just stays in B3 mode the entire time. The way that I was able to do that got a little complicated, and that is probably going to have to be another video. But basically, when I'm triggering patch changes over here, I don't know if you can see the markers that I have here. There's a marker for each song in the set, and then within that I have these channels here that are all for program changes. And so there is a device for Max for Live called Program Change. That is what I'm using to send everything out. So you can automate programs, sub banks, and banks to change within the timeline. And the reason I had to do it like that was because the regular way that you do it, you have to enable program changes to MIDI clips, and you have to actually trigger the MIDI clip in order to send the program change out. But then that means that the timeline is constantly running, and I have OCD, and that was kind of bothering me, so I figured there had to be a different way to do it. Now, what this does is when I'm program changing stuff over here, it's just moving the marker on the timeline, and so wherever that marker is, it reads where all the automated program changes are at, and it automatically sends it out. Like I said, I'll probably have to do another video in depth on how I had to set that up, because it took me a long time to figure that out. And finally, when I figured it out, it was just smooth sailing. So I got MIDI channels for program changes. Like I mentioned earlier, the Triton, the Moog, the Timeline, and the Big Sky are what are receiving program changes. I have each one of those devices set to a different MIDI channel. That way there's no crosstalk, no confusion, and they're only receiving program changes. And then I have a couple sets of instrument racks up here. One set is for all the synths that are being layered, and then another set is for pianos, ambient felt piano stuff that are mainly used on the worship stuff. And the reason I had to set them up on two different instrument racks is because within an instrument rack, you don't have the ability to reroute audio to a different output. So that's why I had to set it up like that. I know I'm being very vague. I promise I'll make another video that covers it more in detail. The interface that I'm using, like I said earlier, was the Motu Ultralight MK3. The Nord pianos are being sent out of outputs 1 and 2 to the interface. Any synths that are coming from the Nord are being routed through outputs 3 and 4 to the interface. And the reason I have it like that is because I want pianos, Rhodes, claves, anything like that, anything main keys related on its own set of channels, and then anything synth comp related stuff on its own set of channels as well. And then anything lead related, which would be the Triton and the Moog, are on its own set of channels as well. And then the Nord C2D is going to its own set of channels. So I got a total of 4 stereo pairs that are being routed out. Both sets of outputs that are coming from the Nord are going into the interface, and from there are going directly out to front of house. The Triton and the Moog are going to this little mixer that I have down here. It is an old Behringer, just I think it's like the 810 mixer, super cheap, but it's very, very reliable. It works the way that it's supposed to, and I don't need it to do anything other than what it does already. So that I'm using as a submixer for the 2 lead boards, and then the Nord C2D is just going directly to a DI box. Let's hop over to the back of the rack and I'll show you how everything's wired. We're on the back of the rack. If you know me, I really like clean cables. Now, don't judge me right now because these are not the cleanest that I would love to have them at, but it is pretty stable. So I have the Behringer Onyx or Xenix, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, 802, that's the model. And then I have a loom that was made for the first stack of boards. And then I have the first set of outputs from Nord, the second set of outputs from Nord going directly into the interface, and those are coming out to these DI boxes over here. Now the reason there's 4 DI boxes rather than the actual radio rack was because the radio rack was on back order and it wasn't going to get here in time for the tour. So that's why that is that way. I do a lot power supplies and the board to a little vented rack, and I also had to zip tie the DI boxes to the vented rack so that everything could stay in place. It makes it very easy for teardown. All the looms, just unplug them, roll them up, put them in the box. Shout out to SKB for making really cool cases. They're great. Shout out to Jerry and Emily at SKB for that. Now, I have a little USB hub here that has all of the USB MIDI connections here, and they're all running through one cable to my laptop over here. Firewire to Thunderbolt 2 adapter for the Motu, and then On this side over here, this is my little Samsung SSD drive that houses all of my sound libraries, all of the Omnisphere, Contact, third-party stuff, samples. It's all on that drive. Very, very portable, super awesome. That covers, I think, the back of the rack. I don't think I'm missing anything. Everything, like I said, goes directly into these DI boxes. So when we get to a venue and everybody has to, you know, plug in their own stuff, this just gets patched right here, and this is all that front of house is, which is pretty cool. So that, I think, about covers it. I'll try to make another video that goes more into detail about the programming side of things, how I have everything routed, because that could take several hours to explain, but I love talking about it. If you ask the guys here, they're always making fun of me because I love talking about setting up gear and programming, all that stuff. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video.